Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me.
Benchmark. They're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. The rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they're hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. I ain't taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You playing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tuning now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow.
I ain't seen from now. Wow, she was really. I'm just trying to tell you. Next my podcast. What's up, bro? Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT. We have today, this afternoon, where she's at, special guest, family, has been on the show before. We got to get on the show in person when she is back in the stew with us. Alexandria Kerr, how are you doing today?
Hi, thank you for having me. You know, I'm a big Bench Mob member. I can't wait to get back with you guys. I would love to get back in person. I think I come back in May, so it'll be nice out and everything like that. Good vibes.
Yeah. We'll figure out something. We'll figure out something for sure. By then, probably we'll be able to be outside and record it somewhere. So that'd be
dope. That would be dope.
So update our listeners. How's the season going? How's it in France? And how's everything going with COVID with you? Because, you know, we see it in the NBA, we see it in the NFL. Players are dropping left and right because of COVID. This person can't play, that person can't play. So how is it for you dealing over there in France?
Okay, so our team, we're in the NF3 here in France. Our program is looking to move up to the NF2. And right now we're on track. We're undefeated. We're doing really well. I think we, right before the break, we beat the number 2 team by like 36. So like, I think that, yeah. So I think we're, you know, we can't say, you know, anything can happen going forward. So we can't get comfortable at all. And I don't think we will. Our coach actually came out of retirement. He used to be the coach of France, the France national team.
Wow.
So he came out of retirement to coach our team. So I'm really blessed to be. I've learned a lot from him already. I like the girls a lot. I really like the team. So we're not. I don't think we're gonna get comfortable or anything like that. But you know, some people think like, oh, we have to lose one game just to make sure we still have that fire for us. But I'm really not trying to lose any games. Like it feels good to win. So it's going well. So we're 12-0. With COVID, it's actually funny because I was out I came home for the holidays, and I got sick. I got COVID. I had to push my flight back and everything. That was rough because of the wait time that I had to like wait on the phone. That there's so many people trying to change the flights. And I was like, oh, I might miss the first game. So by the grace of God, I get back in a week. Test negative a week later. Yes, a week later. I mean, I drank like 3 cups of lemon ginger tea a day. I wasn't playing. I was like, yo, I'm really trying to get back. So a week later, test again, came up negative 2 times. One on a rapid, and then I took the rapid test because you don't know what's coming up on the rapid test. Some people say that it's not, but when he said, he looked at it, he's like, I don't know, I think this is negative. I was like, all right, I'll take it. So I took it. And then I also did like a PCR test, like one of the more accurate ones, and I got that back after I was already on my trip to come home. So if it was positive, I'm in the middle of the trip anyways, but it came back negative, so that was cool. Got back, and the first game got canceled due to COVID. The other team, the other team's coach had COVID. Really, I think the rule here at this point, I don't know why they canceled, maybe because the coach, they can't come without the coach. But really what the rule is, if you have 3 players, at least 3 players that are positive, the game has to get rescheduled. So then we played our second game this past Sunday. Away against a pretty good team. And we won that game. We did really well. But then the next day, a couple of other girls on our team came up positive for for COVID. So everybody had to get tested. We all got tested. So I think there's like 3 girls out, and then later on in the week, another girl tested positive. So I tested myself twice this week, and both times they came up negative. Supposedly, I'm technically kind of immune. I have my 3 vaccinations, and I just had it a couple weeks ago. But I'm under the impression, I'm under the belief, I'm trying to take care of people around me and myself that, if there's a chance that I can get it, I'm trying to be as safe as possible with it. But right now I'm negative. I'm just I wear a mask now to practice for probably like the next week until this is kind of like cleared up. So with COVID, it's a little iffy. There's some leagues out here that have been like canceled until further notice, have been like, kind of pushed back until further notice due to the high rise in COVID cases.
That lemon ginger tea, my mom-in-law was trying to get me to drink it. I couldn't get with the taste, but I know it works wonders. I couldn't get that. It's strong. It's so strong. Like,
it's so strong. And the one lemon is just good for you, and they don't push it enough, but it's really good to boost your immune system, and it kills infections. It eliminates infections. Supposedly good for preventing cancer, things like that. Like, so adding lemon into some of the things that you do, like that you drink or whatever, is really good for you. And then ginger is an anti-inflammatory. So in being sick and things, you're congested, your throat's inflamed, stuff like that. So now it's kind of helping you in those ways. So alleviating that illness or whatever. So that helped me. I mean, I didn't have bad symptoms. I just needed a negative test. Like I mean, if it wasn't for the plane ride, I would not have gotten tested for COVID. Like I think I had a runny nose, and at like maybe for 3 days, I had like this coming and going, like tingling sensation in my throat. It wasn't even pain. It wasn't like I have a sore throat. I'm maybe coughed just to kind of like alleviate the sensation, and that was it. So once I got the test, I was like, but I kind of saw it coming when I had that like feeling. So I was like, all right, whatever. But yeah, lemon ginger tea is strong. It's an acquired taste, but I'm telling you, it works wonders, and now I love it.
It definitely did help me. It's just like, can I have ginger ale instead? I would have preferred ginger ale.
Yeah.
But what is your role on this team? You guys are rolling, you guys are playing well. I remember when you was on the show before, going over there, that you had a lot of stuff you said you were working on in your game. What is your role on this team, and how has your game progressed from last time we had you on the show?
Okay, so last time you guys had me on the show, I mean, I was still in limbo with so much stuff. I hadn't even got baptized yet. I got baptized. And it's a crazy. Thank you. So I finished studying the Bible. I got baptized. I hadn't heard from my agent for like a year. Like, it was all COVID, And on the day I got baptized, I checked my emails after, and I got an email with 3 different opportunities to play. At this point, I'm working in an accounting firm, 60 hours a week. It's tax season. Like, I'm finally getting a chance to probably play again. So, fast forward, I find a job at this sports academy in Mountainside. So I started getting back into, I wasn't even into the gym training. I stopped that. I gave it all to God. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna, if basketball isn't what it is for me, like that's what it is. I'm gonna just have to be with what's in front of me, because I don't know when this COVID thing's gonna end. So eventually I got the offer to come here. And I took it. It was a great offer. And right now, when I first got here, they wanted me to be a 3-point shooter, like a 3-point, like knockdown 3-point shooter. So I kind of had this pressure on me to to knock down threes. And at the beginning of the season, I'm trying to be a 3-point shooter. And that's really actually not my game. Like, I'm a good player, but my game isn't starting outside and then maybe going in every once in a while. I'm really get to the basket, pull up, get fouled, and then hit like open threes when I get the opportunity. So at first, I was doing well, but I still had this pressure I wasn't in my game. And it wasn't until I read a quote by Michael Jordan. There was something that came up on Instagram talking about how Michael Jordan had hit like 6 3-pointers in a game or something like that. And how he said, like, I don't really shoot threes. Like, if they're open, I take them to try to knock them down. But I go to the basket. My game is more efficient by the basket, by the rim, and pulling up, going to the free throw line. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, like, I'm going to just play my game. So now I'm playing my game. It feels good. I feel strong. I changed up a lot of habits. And I'm also like a huge role leader on defense, kind of setting the tempo. I love to play defense. It's something I actually like to do. So I would say I have a decent role on the team. I speak decent French now, so I've been learning since I got out here. So I'm not a captain or anything, but I'm definitely one of the leaders. And you don't have to be a captain to be a leader. We've got a couple leaders on the floor. So I would say that's about my role. And how has my game progressed? So we have a good coach. So he's definitely, I know when I first got out here, we were playing a good team, like a team that was in a level league above us. It was like a scrimmage. And we were missing our point guard and maybe another girl. They didn't even come to the match. They couldn't. They had a conflict. So I was playing kind of out of position. I was doing pretty well, but it still was a rough game. And I got frustrated. My coach wanted me to just pretty much take the ball coast to coast. And I'm tired. Like, I'm feeling like, yo, I've been taking it coast to coast. Like, how much more can I do? He's still like kind of telling me to do stuff. So I just kind of snapped back at him one time. Boom, subbed me out. And I sat on the bench for a quarter. Mind you, I was probably leading in scoring. I probably led the team in scoring. And he just, boom, sat me on the bench. It wasn't even no discussion. Like, sat me on the bench just like that. After that situation, I was like, oh yeah, he's not playing around. Like, I'm never doing that again, because I don't like to not play. So I think another thing that he's getting me to do is really relax while I play. I force things. I'm stressed. Like, I'm really trying to go hard. And I think that maybe my mind-body connection, which is something that I'm going to work on this summer with one of my coaches, it's not always there. I have to feel like I have to think about some of the things that I'm doing instead of it just coming natural. So he's trying to just get me to relax when I shoot. He's like, I know you're too stiff when you shoot. Like, you have to just relax. And that annoys me, because I like to think that I'm relaxed when I play. I like to think that I look good. I like to think I look smooth. And he's like, no, you look like this. You look like this. And he always he mocks me in front of everybody. I'm like, really? Like, I get mad. So that's one of the things that he's working out of my game, and I appreciate that. I'm gonna just love it and try and accept it. And then he says I dribble too much. So he told me I dribble too much, and I was like flabbergasted. I didn't understand what he was talking about, because in the United States, when you dribble too much, you're beating the ball up. You're beating the ball up. Next thing you know, you pull up and take a shot. And I don't do that. So like, one of the things, I think it's just like, literally getting the ball in the outlet without even taking a dribble, moving the ball up the court. Or getting the ball, like getting the rebound, maybe taking one dribble, moving it up. If there's a pass ahead, you make it. You don't dribble it up and then start the offense. Like, if we can get the team on an advantage on offense, that's how we're going to get it. It was hard for me to understand at first, and I had to kind of seek advice as to, like, what does he mean by dribbling too much? And ended up being something like that. And I also, maybe like when I'm getting the screen, like if I'm getting the screen, I might be dribbling too much. Like, maybe 2 dribbles, make the move and get to the basket. Maybe not just wait. So he's taking that out of my game. So these are like things that, I hadn't really heard before, that he's pointing out, that I'm like, okay, I'm where I need to be right now. This is working things out of my game that like I need to work out. So yeah.
I mean, I think that's good. I think it also depends on the coach and their system. I know I've talked to a couple players, and just being a student of the game in Europe. Hey, we looking to get passes before dribbles, so it's like a completely different style of basketball. Like, when European coaches and players came over to the NBA, why y'all dribble so much?
Right.
Why y'all dribble so much? So I think it's also styles of play, and it all depends on the coach. Like, you might get your next coach and be like, all right, I need you to do some extra dribbling, like take 2, 3 dribbles. The thing that's good though is, like, I see, and I'm sure you see it too, especially with coaching, a lot of players do over dribble based off of what they see, and they don't know how to be efficient and get into their spots.
Right.
So if you a mid range knockdown shooter, get to your spots. You don't need the 15 dribbles to get there, or as you alluded to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I love Steph, but Steph has killed the game because everybody wants to shoot. Everybody wants to shoot threes. Teams, hey, we're gonna shoot threes. We're gonna shoot more threes. And your team, you don't have shooters.
Mm.
I was playing the other day with some kids. First shot, their first shot in the game, their first shot is a hash from the hash mark. A couple steps in front of half court. Their first shot is that 3-pointer.
Yo, you have no idea. Like some of the basketball that you see now, you can tell like people are just watching Instagram highlights. And I try to explain to any of the kids that I coach, I'm like, you can't skip steps. You can't skip steps. Like you must master getting right in front of the rim. You must master that before you think that you're gonna step out to 3-point and start hitting threes. Like I know for me, like I didn't even take threes until my senior year in high school. Like I wasn't even like I kind of started late with all that stuff. But my dad always told me like, don't fall in love with the jump shot. Don't fall in love with the jump shot. And now people just they get annoyed. It's just like, okay, I don't want to be right here, mastering my shot. I don't want to do that. I want to go be shooting out there. But now you're getting out there. You don't even have your form right. You're not on balance. You don't even know like, oh, can you tell me if I'm shooting this right or not? I'm like, you would know and you would feel if you're shooting it right or not. If you got in front of the hoop and really got a feel for your shot, really let yourself go and just studied your shot from real up close. And not skipping steps. Everybody wants to make a highlight before they even, they want to start sprinting before they started crawling. So I think that's like that's a thing. Like Steph, like I know I've seen videos, like I would love this to be me, but I know it's not. And this is where you got to be real with yourself too. Maybe some of these kids aren't real with themselves, but he doesn't even count shots that hit the rim as makes. In practice, like that from 3, like I wish like I could get to that. So once you're at that point, you could shoot, but that's where people get a little delusional, where some people are now taking a dribble over and trying to do what Steph does, but doesn't do what Steph does. So it doesn't make sense. But that's just a different logic. That's like some kids just got to get it in their head, but more than even just Steph, like I think that some of these highlights kind of kill the game because people will really just try and 1 or 2 plays get something that's going to get posted so that they can get it up. And like, if you really watch the whole game, maybe the quality isn't as good as it should be. That's kind of what I've seen and what I've noticed. And I'm trying to preach to people because that's what the culture of the game has kind of turned into.
Yeah, it's more important than getting the highlights. That's why it's kind of like you gotta take it with a grain of salt because the highlight reel is like a 2-minute clip of them doing all their best plays. Mm-hmm. Now they could have went 8 for 40 in the game and showed you 8 makes. So that's the era we live in. If it's not posted, it ain't real. So it didn't happen. So that's the era we live in. You mentioned some of the the kids and coaching and whatnot. Now obviously you're a pro. You're out in France. What has been your opinion and thoughts on the NCAA having name, image, and likeness and allowing players to make some type of money off of their name?
Honestly, like I'm okay with it in the sense that like if you're able to go out and work in any other job, if you can profit off of playing basketball, like I'd say profit off of it. Like I know it's like, okay, you're an amateur still, and so there's that kind of technicality there between amateur and professional. But if your name is that big and you've earned it, I'm not gonna say nah, you can't get that. Like I didn't have that opportunity, and I hope that one day maybe I have that opportunity. But if somebody can get that, I'm cool with it. I've thought about it. I've seen it, and I'm just like, dang, like, all right, now these people. Now I hope that maybe that encourages people to try and do better, maybe so that they can get that. Maybe see it in a positive way. What do you think about it?
I think it's good. I think it's performative though, because even the best athletes, I'm seeing like, $3-4 million deals, while the colleges are still making billions off of these players. So I think
Right.
it's a little token like, all right, here, shut up. Like you could
Yeah.
have some money, but the coach is getting paid $12 million a year. The
Right.
university that's selling your jerseys that you don't get a profit of. Like,
Right.
so it's cool. I'm happy for the players because they get
Hmm.
something out of it, but it's still kind of just like, all right. It's like with your parents and you as a kid. I just want you to shut up. So I'm gonna give you here. I'm gonna give you a little something. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
give you what
Hmm.
you deserve, and I just want you to stop complaining about. Oh, I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's how I view it. It's not really
Yeah,
truly.
I think they're commercializing. It's definitely there's a commercialization to it. Like it's definitely being commercialized in that sense. So, and it is a token, and it's just like I definitely think universities profit off of it. I'm a big education person, so I'm trying to profit as much education I can get for me playing basketball. And if you're going to school for free now, this like I went to school, I played basketball. I also worked 2 jobs while playing basketball. Um, so if you can go and work and go play basketball and go to school for free, like that's a lot already. Like that's a lot already. I know people who are still paying off student loans. And I always want to be, grateful for what I have. Always strive to get more. Of course, you want to do the best that you can. But getting a free education for me, like that was important. I'm playing basketball still, but if you ask me, this is where your plan and God's plan, my plan when I was in school, I went D2. I'd be, working at one of a big 4 accounting firm right now, working tax season. It would be tax season right now. I'd probably be working 70 hours right now. And now I'm over here playing. So I got this opportunity. I'm just trying to make the most out of it. So yeah, it's like they're just kind of throwing them a bone to
Mhm.
maybe get them to be quiet or whatever. And that's cool. But I think that some people deserve it, and if that's cool, if that's how they're gonna make their money, that's how they're gonna make their money. So yeah, I agree. It's kind of a bone that universities profit, but that the value of education, when you want to monetize it, if you want to really put a number on what it is to actually be educated, whether you think that you use it and apply it, like just the skills that you get from being able to analyze situations, I think that that's huge, where some people don't really get that opportunity. Not saying somebody with a college degree is more able to analyze a situation, but the difference between being educated and ignorant is a huge thing in my head. So yeah.
Nah, that's valuable. That's needed because we see it every day in conversations that happen with life situations. So
Right.
being educated, being informed is really key. And like you alluded to, hey, we live in the era of Google and YouTube. You don't if you can't afford to go to college, you can't go to college. It's a lot you
Right.
can learn on. You
Right.
can take master
You can still
classes.
educate yourself. Right. You can still educate yourself.
Yeah.
That's why you see so many times like people making these comparisons to these billionaires that didn't go to school. But it's not that they just didn't go to school. They got good at something and they educated themselves in something. You know what I'm saying? They still were learning. It wasn't like, I just didn't go to school and I just kind of just did the bare minimum and just stopped learning. No, they still learned, and that doesn't mean that just because they didn't technically get a diploma doesn't mean you're not educated. And then after you get your diploma, you shouldn't stop learning either. You should keep going and exercising that muscle. So, but
Speaking
yeah,
of
I'm a big supporter. I'm a big supporter of education.
speaking of exercising that muscle, you have Alexandria Atlas Fit Nutrition. Talk to me about that because before, when you were on the show, there wasn't that other Instagram page. I looked one day, I said, is that hers? Okay, so she got another page. Talk
Yeah.
to us about the page with that and what's your goals and what you're trying to do with that.
Yeah, so my dad actually has a fitness and nutrition business called Atlas Fitness and Nutrition. And I think we were just talking about it before, about doing something that you love to do. And I know my dad would love to do that full time. It's just like it's like his part-time thing. So we got him an Instagram and things like that. And he said, like, you should work with me, you become a trainer. And I haven't had the time to devote to that because that's not where I'm at right now. As much as I think that would be cool. I think I would enjoy training and stuff like that. I decided, like, I made a page for it, like, okay, to start, like, maybe being like a sublet to his Instagram page. And then I started lifting with him and actually doing what he does, going to his gym during quarantine. And he does like Olympic lifting, and they lift heavy. I mean, they lift heavy. So I started doing it. I made myself a page, and I'm using it just for, fitness and nutrition, which is just, my lifting, my workouts, basketball. I'm doing, taking care of my health, like my hair. I'll post my hair videos, which I love to do. So I don't have really a goal. I'm just doing it as a hobby as of right now. And just kind of posting like some of my milestones. I know that, like, with my dad, I was able to deadlift 308 pounds. Right now, that's my max. But for 2 reps. So I decided to stop at 308. I was like, okay, I'm not doing all this. This isn't really for basketball. I need to do less weight, high reps, high explosion. But it's cool to be strong. Like, that still gets you strong. So like little things like that. So it's kind of like, a subsidiary to my dad's page. So yeah.
Gotcha. So you mentioned it, your hair journey, your post. Talk to us about your hair journey and how it coincides with your spiritual journey. Because I know I mentioned, hey, you got the growth is coming, and you said that was God, and you said it coincided with each other. So speak to us about that.
Okay, so when I actually, like, when I was first on the show, it made me look back when I took the picture with my bench mob, my bench mob merch, and then I went back to see the our old episode from last year, which was in early January, I believe. And like, I saw the difference in my hair, and I know my hair had grown, but I'm like, dang, my hair grew a lot, like a lot. I this past year, I think that it just coincides with my spiritual journey because I've given a lot of stress over to God. For example, when I tested positive for COVID, normally I would have been stressed. I'm going to miss my first game. My value as a player is going to go down. I'm missing practices, this and that. And I decided, I'm like, yo, this is God's plan. This is what he what he had written for me. And there's a reason behind this. And I'm going to take this day as it was made for me and trust God in it. And that's kind of it's been a process because there's days where, some things might happen, might throw me off, and I'm learning to trust God more and more. But that relaxation and that peace of God, I think, has really helped with my hair, my body development and my physical development, and just my mentality, the joy that I have, the happiness, just from that peace. So I think that's like really coincide. I think my spiritual journey has like a lot to do with the fact how much it's grown. Because I know the first year, from when I first cut it to that picture, from when I first did the show with you guys, it wasn't as I was stressed before. Yeah. I was stressed about anything, anxiety, all that stuff. And I think without all of that, like, it's just taken off for me since. So yeah.
Rocking with God, man, if you allow it, that gives you the peace that passes all understanding. So if you go that route, I mean, we see him in the boat. It's a storm. My man Jesus was in the bottom of the boat, sleep. Mm-hmm. The disciples was like, "Oh, Jesus, you don't care?" I'm sleeping. I'm at peace. I'm good. He's like, "I care. All right, I'm gonna stop the storm. I care though, but I'm going back to sleep. Like, I don't do this trust thing." So I think that's definitely a indicator of your growth is when you allow the peace to come. Because the
Mm-hmm.
peace is all, if you choose Jesus, the peace is always there. It's just whether you allow it to actually take over your life and like have that peace and have
Mm-hmm.
that non-stress approach to everything. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you realize and remember, like, hey, yo, my dad runs all of this. All right, we good. My
Right.
dad has a plan for my life, and he says that the plan is that I will be prosperous and that he will take care of me. What you stressing about? God got
Right.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, our father literally runs all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool.
It's so true, because it's just like sometimes like you can it goes to, you know, how deep your faith actually is, because when you do block out that piece, because you could still, you know, pray to God, oh, I'm still stressed about it, I just didn't relieve anything. It's like, really, did you really give your problems to him? Do you really believe that this is going to come out for the good of you? Because that's what he's working for. So when I got sick, I'm like, okay, this is going for the good. This extra week here, something good is coming out of this extra week here. You know, anything that's popped up, I'm like, okay, this is actually just a test, and the test that we have shows our need for God. Sometimes people think, you know, he might allow something to happen. Nothing bad comes from God, only good comes from God. But he might allow something to happen that shows our need. It brings out a need for him, because if we didn't need God, there's no reason to have a relationship with him. We don't need
Mm-hmm.
him. We're God ourselves. If we don't need God, we don't need it. So anytime you're tested, that really proves that this is who we're accepting as our Father and Savior. So yeah, really trusting, and that's not easy for anyone to do. Really giving them that trust, but it's a process. It definitely is.
For sure, definitely, it's a good thing to hear to get to that point of having a peace, especially being in another country, especially playing professional ball. And I can imagine that we've talked to professional players overseas, especially with COVID. Like there are reasons to be stressed. There are reasons to be.
When some of the girls on my team tested positive, I'm like, yo, like, where do I get tested? Do I need insurance? Like, can I just can I go here? Like, well, I don't really have a doctor. Doctor got a team doctor. Like, it's
Mhm.
nothing. You're not home. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I could just hop in the car, Google something up, and go. It's not
Yeah,
that. I'm like, does it cost? Like, how much do I have to pay for this?
whole lot of things. So that definitely is great. Is key. We definitely look forward for you being in person as far as
Yeah.
diving deeper. We still gotta. I don't know if it'll be around in May. We still gotta try the Popeyes chicken sandwich next to the Chick-fil-A
Oh
sandwich.
yeah. Oh my God. I'm down. I'm really down for that.
We gotta get Greg. We gotta do that. Greg will definitely be available for that one. I'll make sure of it. We will work around Greg's schedule so we can make that
Yeah.
happen for
Yeah.
sure. We're gonna go to with the quickness segment. You already know how that segment goes. It's gonna be some rapid fire questions,
Oh
whatever
no.
pops in your head. What's your favorite scripture?
I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength.
Philippians 4:13. That's a
For
good
13.
one right there.
Yes, that's my dad's Atlas pages scripture.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
what's up.
anytime something's going wrong, like, all right, I'm like, I can do this. Like, anytime, even when I'm working out, all right, this rep, like, I can get this in. Yeah, that's how that.
Favorite being you mentioned your hair journey. What's your favorite hair product?
Cream of nature, the twisting cream. I'll leave it in as a regular leave-in. Right now, I got my twist in, which I'm keeping in all winter from now on, because the cold does not do good with the hair. But cream of nature, twisting cream. Mm-hmm.
Complete sidebar. What's the weather like over there in France right now?
Oh, it's where I'm at. It's nice. It's okay. It's not that cold. The low it'll get like to in the 30s, 32, maybe low. But the high will be like 40s. So it doesn't get much colder than this. So it's only gonna get warmer. I know when I was in Jersey, it was touching low. So I know it's cold out there.
My man Dwayne that plays in France also was telling his teammates, they talking about it's cold at 33 degrees.
Like,
He
no, this
he
is
sent
cold.
them the picture of what it was in Newark. It was like
Mhm.
-8. He was like, it's not cold over here.
Yeah, yep, that's it. I look over there, I'm like -11. It's over here. It might be 0, which is in Celsius. 0 is 32 degrees, which is freezing. So that'll be their 0. Yeah, and 32 is nothing. Like -11, they're like -11. We never felt that before. It doesn't snow here. I'm like, all right, like it snows where I'm from.
Definitely. Basketball player. Give me your 3 favorite sports movies.
Let's see. Let's see. Uh, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really watch movies.
Got it.
Like I don't even like. I only watch TV because like I'm learning French. Like I do not watch movies. I do not like. So anytime you ask me about a movie, like everyone tries to show me, and I'll only watch when I'm around other people. So I don't really have. I mean, like I like loving basketball. That's one that I've seen. Yeah, that's about it. I'm very boring in that sense. Yeah.
So I think this one is a better question than, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to answer this, especially with your love for education. Give me your favorite, right now, your favorite 3 books.
Okay. I last time we were on the show. Okay. So this is bad. Because I'm not even reading books right now. I'm just studying. So I only am reading textbooks. So I don't leisurely read. Right now I'm reading something in French, which is called like the mission at the end of the like end of the world, which is just some book about a criminal that's getting chased by this woman who's in love with him. But I'm only reading it to learn French. Yeah, so that's it. Like I don't leisurely read. I don't leisurely watch TV. I'm very boring in that sense. So yeah.
How has it been like learning French? Is it an easy process? How is it?
It was definitely like very hard at first. I studied like 4 hours a day. I'd study like a long time, and I was exhausted in the first like half of the season. But now I speak pretty much fluent French, and I also know Spanish. So since I knew Spanish before, I learned it when I was in Spain. I had like more of a base on how to learn a language, and there's a lot of connections because it's all Latin based. So like right now in the morning when I do my quiet time, I read my French Bible, my French English Bible. So I'll read it in French, then I'll read it in Spanish, and then I'll read it in English after, like the same scripture or like little passage that I read. So yeah, I don't leisurely read. So I don't have a favorite book. I don't really have a favorite movie or anything like that. But I do read to study. So yeah.
Well, that's inspirational right there. You just said you got 3 languages. That's on some Kobe stuff right there. You got
Yeah.
3 languages under the belt. You could talk the Spanish players, the French players, and then come back home and be like, I talk to y'all too. That's
they appreciate it. They really appreciate when you learn their language. Like I'm able to go places and have like actual relationships with people because there's no language barrier there. So they really, really appreciate that because there's like a stereotype about Americans coming overseas and they don't like actually really care about the people. Their paycheck, their buckets, and then probably go to a different team.
Yeah, definitely. We often get that stereotype of we're going over there, and you see it all the time. A lot of teams then get a translator. They cater to the American, and the American never tries to learn their language. So that's definitely huge and definitely important with that. Sure. So no books, no movies, no TV, right? Do you have anything in your musical rotation right now?
Yeah, I mean, I like Giveon. I listen to a lot of French music, a lot of Spanish music. Yeah, I love music, so that's not a problem. I've listened more love music now. Like more, I can't really listen to rap too much anymore. It just sounds crazy to me, some of the stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. My music is good. I mean, I still have Drake on my phone and like stuff like that. But I definitely listen to a lot of French music, a lot of Spanish music, and I have like a couple playlists of like more slow songs in English.
Gotcha. So we're gonna get you out of here with this one. So the last time we was on, we asked you top 5 people that are alive that you like to have a meal with, right?
Hmm.
So to cater this towards you, right?
Hmm.
Top 5 dead or alive people that you would like to be educated by, that you can learn something from them, gain some wisdom, have a conversation with them. Since you have a love for education and obviously working that muscle, got 3 languages under your belt, who are 5 people that are alive that on that spectrum that you want to be like, hey, I'd like to learn something from them?
Probably, well, first I'm gonna go with Jesus because he's got everything. He's got everything in the book, all the wisdom, and just, not even just things mathematical or anything like that, like really how to live and how to love others.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think another person would be like a Gandhi, Martin Luther King, just teaching you the love stuff that, peace that you're not really gonna find in a textbook or anything like that. So that would be 3. If I could learn anything, Einstein, I'm trying to get whatever he had in his head. If I could get that, I'm good. And probably like my grandma, like my dad's mother. I never got to meet her. She was a brilliant woman. I know she came over from Panama, and she was an accountant from there, and she came over and she worked in the United States. So I know she raised my aunt, my dad very well. So I would definitely love to learn something from her.
That's dope because you're in that same field for school, right?
Yeah. So I don't know how. I just have this natural like knack for it. I know I went into school and I majored in finance, and I didn't really like it. And my advisor, she's like, you need to, change to accounting. And I got into accounting, and it just kind of clicked. So that's how
Right.
that's why I'm like, I mean, I'm not trying to stereotype accountant, but I'm pretty boring in that sense of being an accountant. Like other than that, like I love basketball. I love to hang out with people. I love talking. So I like things like that. And yeah, like I have my brother's Netflix. I only use it when I'm overseas, when I'm trying to learn a language. But yeah, those would be like the 5 people I would try to, learn from.
I gotta ask, I will be remiss because I know you're such a fan of the sport.
Hmm.
Who do you see winning the championship this year?
Oh, like I don't want to sound crazy or anything like that, but like even though the Lakers have had a rough, like they're gonna come back and win the championship. Like I feel like it's gonna be just something like that. Like it's gonna be, how it all starts off, and then that's how the franchise goes and takes over. But I would say something like that. Like, who do you think is gonna win?
Hey, from your mouth to God's ears, I'd love for that to
Are you
happen.
are you a Lakers fan?
I'm a Lakers fan. I would love for that to happen. I am not happy with how they've been playing.
How do you feel
I'm
about the season?
I've given up on them actually winning the championship. I'm like, hey.
Really? I think
But they,
sometimes I think some of this stuff is like, next thing you know, they're gonna start clicking if they can, and now they just got threats. So I don't know. I have no idea.
I think it's really important like what seed they get. Like if they a playing team this year again, nah, that's not gonna work. They need That's the thing. LeBron's doing his thing, right?
Hmm.
Anthony Davis is out. They still trying to figure out what's going on with Russell Westbrook.
Uh,
Bron ain't got that much time left to be talking about we gonna still figure this out. Like
uh,
Steph, Golden State playing well. Klay Thompson is back. You got Phoenix still playing well. The East, if Kyrie figures out what he's doing, you got the Nets still. Like, I don't know. Like,
hard. It's looking. I'm not sure either. I'm not sure either. And anytime like I thought it was going to be one other team, it's always another. Like it's just like something. Okay, I never thought that they would have won that, but like I'm like, okay, this is over. And next thing you know, they come back and sweep going. So I don't know. But since you're a Lakers fan, I hope that I'm a Knicks fan. So they beat Boston, so that was great. But other than that, like we haven't won a championship in a while. So
yeah, hopefully both our teams do better. That would be nice, but y'all already know the vibes. If you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. Bench mob, we out. Peace. Thank you again for hopping on with us, man. It was much appreciated.
Yes, thank you for having me.